Hello every pony, welcome to my commission process, which will explore the process in which I take commissions, which is my commission process. Anyway, I am a commission artist. I have been since I was a teenager, specifically about 14. I think I began taking them on. I would only recommend that if you have adult supervision and someone, looking on over you, someone responsible, someone trustworthy, someone who knows what you're doing and knows how to reasonably handle that. I'm gonna say it right here though, adults are the main audience for this video, as it is much easier to manage your business if you are an adult. Now, to set a basic idea, I post advertisements for my commissions. This includes actual commissions that I get, my website link with my terms of service, my prices for each option that I offer, graphics that correspond with the options, and, the layout that generally makes it easy to understand what price is for what piece. In my opinion and in my experience, I find visuals to be the most impactful because they catch attention more easily than text. Now, to get into specifics, you will have to think in terms of what is appealing in a thumbnail, as that is the form most people will view your art in, the resizable version. Contrasting, popping colors generally are what grab attention. Combine these graphics with information to relate to your product. Remember to keep in mind popping, contrasting colors that people can tell apart, and readable, understandable text. Appropriate sizing, appropriate font, you know the deal. But combine it with your product and you have advertisement material that is fully personalized and can capture an audience. You can repost it when you feel inclined to do so. You have every right to. It's your work, it's your ad, and it's your art. Personally, I post all sorts of art-related things, from drawings to memes to discussion points. I explore multiple mediums of art that I post as well, be it 2D, 3D, traditional, or digital. I do 3D modeling, 2D modeling, graphic design, character design, writing. As of late, I make plush animals and more. My main selling point, however, is illustration, and for that, I do most emphasize the visual aspect of my work. To go on, I post all of this content on public social media, and when appropriate, I use corresponding hashtags to join my work with that of others. With this, I open messages and I simply wait for any interested clientele. To do this, however, there is an understanding that you will be working for other parties and you will be catering your work to their tastes. This is a collaborative creation. Many cannot merge with this work style, whereas others will, as it's a matter of compatibility with said work style. Personally, I view commission work as dedicating your skills to another party's vision. For a collaboration to be effective, you will need to be reliable, as will the other parties involved. Ideally, to me, the finished product will have qualities that make it enjoyable to both the buyer and the seller. However, despite the collaborative nature, this is a business and a product. You owe your service to the Oh my god. You owe your service to the paying parties once compensation is provided. What is also owed is the conditions to providing this service. A deadline, a price, added fees, possible fees, and for this, a terms of service is most often implemented. Commission work is an agreement and a collaboration as well as a service. Rights to the finished work will not be discussed in this video. as it requires further knowledge of copyright law than I possess personally. Now, establishing the relationship between artist and client and what each role entails, you begin your commission process. What I will describe is my own and my most effective process after the last decade of taking on commissions. To begin, I recommend familiarity with a Windows shortcut if that is your operating system. It happens to be Windows key and Shift and S. This will allow you to crop your screen for a screenshot to add to your clipboard. Now, once you have a cropped screenshot, you may combine Control and V to paste your clipboard contents. Beginning a commission, you need to establish all the details of the piece. The client will provide you with any and all details they desire, so much as you ask and they know what to provide, to the extent that they desire, which means that this becomes a spectrum or a scale. You may only be provided with the character reference, or you may be provided with pose details, or you may I keep stumbling! I'm leaving it in, because I'm humble. Okay, now with this information, you can properly establish a quote, a price for your service. Now, if the client agrees to your quote, you may now establish a payment method. Most commonly I've seen are PayPal, Cash App, Ko-fi, others. Those are very, very common in the States though. This will be individual. Your price is yours and only yours, just as your product is. I start by sketching out the pose. If there's a reference or a description provided, I follow it to the best of my ability, and I follow the earlier mentioned shortcut on most platforms to send the client a screenshot of my sketch for approval by the client. This becomes possible further pose work, minor alterations such as arm placement I will do for free. Major alterations such as a totally new pose I will charge a new fee for if I feel it is appropriate for the extra time and work. But, and a big but, there is, in capital letters, a responsibility involved in this. I determine which change is on my behalf or the client's to cover, either financially or in time. For example, if I get the palette wrong when one is provided, it is my responsibility to alter those colors without a charge. It was my mistake, or it was my misunderstanding that I will fix. However, if a client feels that they want a new direction for the piece that differs from their prior mentions, I will need to charge a fee to cover the time and effort put into the work so far. This is due to the agreed price referring to a prior iteration. The current has now added to it, so a price change is now necessary. I will let some changes go personally if I feel that they are easy and quick to do, which in my case happens to be quite a few of them. It is a case-by-case basis, and most often it is all dependent on what stage of the piece I am in, and it mostly refers to the sketch process. Now, this process continues similarly, but I do enjoy sending my clients frequent updates once lining begins. Once details added upon the pose are approved by the client, I begin the lining process and send updates according to each client's preference if, and that is another big if they specify, because I do love sharing the works in progress. As mentioned, changes made during this process will depend on what was initially established, and it will depend on whose responsibility it is to cover that edit. However, I do make the fees a little bit higher once the stage of the art piece is later in the process, because that takes a lot more time to alter. But it is always a determination of what caused this part to be needing a change. You know, what makes this need to be changed? And is it, that was such a rough and is it my chore to cover, or is it their responsibility to pay to cover? And upon completion, I will send the client their full resolution pieces via Stash, DeviantArt's image hosting service, but I also offer email delivery and dedicate an email to this as well. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hi, bye.